welcome to Candid Conversations. Hi, my name is Karen Jones, and today with me we have Barbara Monroe. Barbara and I go back many, many, many years, and Barbara has been in the real estate industry, serving the entire Phoenix metro area for, gosh, it's over 20 years now, isn't it, Barb?
Over 20 years.
Yeah,
Yes.
over 20
Long
years.
time.
God, time sure flies by fast. But her love is Cave Creek. So if you were to ask her, what's your love? It's Cave Creek. So what these candid conversations are all about is to help you, the consumer, understand in real terms, in a real conversation of what's really happening out there in the marketplace. So with that being said, Barb, we're going to ask you your first question. And our first question is, we know the whole Phoenix metropolitan area is your playground, but why do you love Cave Creek? What's so special about Cave Creek?
I think, well, number one, I live up here, and we built our house up here, so that it's convenient. But since living here since 97, it has a very small town community feel, but there's a variance of people that live here. So you have horse properties and acreage, and then you have little gated communities from middle level all the way up to very high level homes that are here. But everybody seems to be all alike, the same kind of small town people and a community feel. So it's nice. It's a 25 minutes from the city, but when you get home, you're home and it's quiet and relaxing up in Cave
That's
Creek.
what I was going to say, yet you're still close to the action,
Very.
downtown Scottsdale and stuff like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
and all the
Yeah.
party places that you want to party
Yes.
at.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but yeah, it's very beautiful up in Cave Creek, and I love the Old Town Cave Creek little shopping areas. There are lots of
Yes.
fun little quaint places there as well. So I know you bring something unique to the industry, and this is important because every property, as we know, has some nuances to it because we were just talking about, there's no perfect home out there. Every home is going to need something, a little bit of change here, a little bit of change that, or maybe a little correction there. But your husband's a contractor, so through osmosis, your eye gets to see things a little bit different than the average realtor. So tell us some examples of how that has helped you with your real estate career.
Well, and we owned a contracting company before, but in that knowledge, I can walk in a home and see certain things that, may be very expensive or just maybe a slight tweak that doesn't cost much. When I get the inspection report back, I sit with my husband and I say, all right, how much is this? Is this very expensive to do or is this not necessary to do? And we give an estimate to the client. Sometimes he joins me at the house to go over with the client what needs to be done. So we work as a team in that, and it eases the client's mind as to whether this is a good purchase or not a good purchase.
I always say that's probably a pretty cool skill to have because,
It is.
You're not a contractor yourself, but you've been around the talk a lot. You've heard what things look like. You kind of hear what it takes to get things fixed and repaired. So having that dialogue behind you through osmosis, if you will, you kind of can get an idea if something just needs to be tweaked a little bit.
Right.
So your clients do appreciate that a lot. I'm sure they do.
I call it, I'm the source of the source.
Yep.
So I'm not going to tell you, yes, that is a very dangerous situation and you need to do this and this. I say, no, it might be a problem. Let me go to the source or find you the source. Because, there's some things that really need a true professional electrical contractor or HVAC, and I bring them in. So
and it's just like with everything else you're kind of like the team captain of a transaction. Because if the person's going through a divorce, then their legal advisor is going to help them make those legal decisions. So, but you
Right.
know where to guide them to. When you need financing, you know who to guide them to for financing, and they're
Exactly.
going to answer those questions. So it's kind of like you need to know a little bit of everything, but
Mm,
expert on none, nor do you want to be an expert in none. You know, how I explain it to my clients, you know, because I am a loan officer as well.
right.
And as I explain it to my clients is that I am the numbers girl, your agent is the property person. So
Mhm.
anything relating to that property, you want to gear those questions to them. Anything related to numbers and strategy of how to get into the home, that's my area of expertise.
It's
So
always, when are the rates going down? And it's like, I don't have a magic ball, but I'll lead you to the people that may have a little more inkling than I
exactly.
do.
Yeah, and
So,
following the markets is huge. So I know you work with, well, I'm one of your partners, but I know I'm not the
mm,
only partner on your team. But, you know, I am a certified mortgage loan advisor, so it allows me to follow the markets. And I follow Barry Habib. Did you know that Barry Habib is now on the Fannie Mae board?
oh, really?
That's huge. That is
Yeah.
huge. So he gets to import his insight of what's happening in the markets, and he was just named again for another. I think it's the fourth year now on the Pulseomics. It's a really
Pulse, oh,
cool, it's a really cool thing for
it's a mouthful.
economics. They call it, they spell it, I'll put the spelling on the screen. It's pretty cool to follow somebody of that caliber and helping
Right.
people decide when's the best time to lock. So it's not just about order taking in today's environment. We have to
Mm,
be very, very, very in tune to where the market is headed and what opportunities do we have to get the best pricing. So with that
right.
being said, interest rates are starting to drop, and I'm starting to see a change in the environment of phone calls coming in, and which leads me to believe that this is going to be a very busy summer. So what do you have to say what's happening in your community as far as sales? Are sales starting to pick up? Is it still slow? What's happening in your community?
Um, the higher end market, the 1, 2, 3 million and up,
Mm-hmm.
they're coming into town. They're coming in with cash. So those are happening. The mid range, 4 to 7, 800,000 or under 1 million, they're looking for financing or some sort of 20%, 30% down and then
Right, right,
financing the rest, or they're needing a good amount to finance. So
right.
trying to find the best sources for them for that. It's tough. It's tough. There's not a lot out there in the market for them, and then getting them qualified. The interest rates are still for them high.
Yeah, yeah,
Six
because
per,
that interest rate does affect affordability. So do you
yeah.
finding more people sitting on the fence, or are you starting to see people moving back into the market?
It's moving a little bit, but they're still trying to think their way into, oh, it's going to get to 3. Oh, it's going to get to 2. And I'm like, well, yeah, it might, but the house may go up. Even some of my clients that I've worked with for a year or two, I'm like, well, the house you looked at for 5 is now 6.
Yep.
So what
Yeah.
should you have done a year ago?
Right.
And, where would you be now? So
Exactly. That's a
they
fantastic point.
and
That's
they
a
don't like to
fantastic point.
hear it.
I wrote a blog and it talked about how when purchase prices increase, usually interest rates decrease. And as interest rates increase, purchase prices tend to decrease. It's just supply and demand. I agree with you. I don't think we're going to get back to those 3% because I don't believe that type of quantitative easing will be occurring in the near future.
I do see a lot of the houses on the market, and I mean a lot, lowering prices every single day. Some by a little bit and some by a lot, an awful lot. So whether they're just lowering them on the MLS or in the negotiation part of it, there's a lot of people dropping money on the table.
Yeah, and that's where I think the buyers that are sitting on the fence that do qualify right now really need to strategically think about them waiting till everybody returns to the market. What happens, Barb, when you start having a whole bunch of buyers return to the market and you have more buyers than you have homes? What happens in that arena?
And they start raising the price of the houses.
Right. And then all of the negotiation power flows to the seller, correct?
Right, right,
Right now,
right.
our negotiating power is with the buyer. Would you agree
Hmm.
with that?
Yeah, I've got five guys. I have five people lined up over here to buy my house. So what are you
Exactly.
offering?
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
so for those of you who are on the fence, and if you do qualify, because the affordability is a factor, there is one strategy that I've used quite successfully, I might add, is that what we do is we use seller concessions to do what we call a permanent buy down of the interest rate. So you can basically tap into those potential improved pricing in the future today. Do you agree with that strategy, Barb?
Yeah, yeah. And I mentioned that several times to them to see what the costs are to get that interest rate down. I don't know if it's the same as it was years ago when people were using it to buy down the interest rate,
Mhm.
but at least talk to your lender about that.
Yes, explore the numbers, right? If you
Yeah.
don't know what you're dealing with, you can't make an informed decision. So you have
Mm.
to explore those numbers. Well, very cool. Well, Barb, I always love working with you. I think you take excellent care of your clients. You are a great negotiator, and I know I've referred clients to you. You've referred clients to me, and I hope that continues for years to come. But I would like you to close with any words of wisdom that you would like to share with the community.
Well, explore Cave Creek. It's a wonderful place to live. Cave Creek, carefree, North Scottsdale. It is a really great place to live. Um, and just take that chance, buy a house, invest in dirt, invest in a home. It's just the best thing you can have living in Arizona. It is a wonderful thing. And typically Arizona, you always make money on a house.
Well, very cool. Well, we thank you so much for your time. And those of you watching today, we thank you for joining in. And Barb can be reached at, Barb, what's your phone number?
480-266-6026. And it's Russ Lyon, Sotheby's International Realty.
Perfect. Thank you so very much for joining us today and have a wonderful afternoon. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.